A very warm welcome, our viewer, from wherever you're watching us from this evening. Thank you so much for always joining in and keeping it here at PrayerCaveTV. It's always a joy to have you join us every single Saturday here for the Youth Nation Show. We say this is a place we come and discuss issues that affect the young people, and hapa we make sure we do what? We come up with solution, and if not, ways that we can help the young people to navigate through these challenges and setting them up for better opportunities. Thank you so much for always writing to us and letting us know where you're joining us from. And tonight, this number is still on your screen. Let us know what are your thoughts tonight. Let us know where you're watching us from and what would you like to learn from tonight's episode. Today we are going to talk matters investment. Investment can be in very different ways, in many things, but as Warren Buffett says, that the best investment is in yourself. But today we want to talk even matters investment in business. And you, as a young person, have you invested? What are your plans when it comes to investment? And today we have someone special on set who is going to tell us more, and we're going to learn a lot when it comes to investment. How do you start a business? Where is the best place for you to invest? And before I talk much, karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
Kindly introduce yourself tonight.
So here, my name is Philip Kamau. I'm a business person. I've been doing this for the last, let's say, like 6 years as a young person. And it's an interesting area which I've ventured into since the day I did my studies back in campus. And I say I'm very grateful for you hosting me today.
We are so delighted to have
Madam
you.
Boyani.
Karibu sana.
Yes.
Now, today we just want to talk about investment.
Okay.
And maybe to start with, what can we tell the common person akuliza what is investment? Unaweza mwambie nini in layman's language?
In layman's language.
Without using jargons.
Jargons.
Akiuliza tu what is investment? What can you tell them?
I think in the simplest way possible to a young person specifically, I could just say delayed gratification.
Delayed gratification.
Delayed gratification for a particular goal. Maybe you have a set goal that you want to achieve financially. You choose to overlook the current things that tickle your fancy, and then you focus on the goal which you have ahead of you. So I will say for an investor to be an investor, it must be a person who is ready to live below their means. So that's my simple explanation to a simple person. But we can also delve deeper to understand what is investment and many aspects about it.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. So for this person, they have to have their eyes on the ball.
Yes.
That is the main goal.
That is the main goal.
And they have to forego whatever is happening now.
Yes.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Yes.
Maybe you can just tell us, how has your journey been, especially when you started, in business and even investing in yourself?
So when the journey, the way it started, it was a bit funny. Though I knew I would launch into business.
Was it something you're passionate about?
Very passionate. Because I can remember back then, while I was still doing my undergraduate, I realized that I'm not a sapio. I'm not the
okay.
I'm not the class the class type. And by any means possible, I'm not underestimating the people who are good in books.
Yeah.
But I realized I'm so good at something else, talking. Like I can talk. I don't want to delve deeper so much to say I can talk out. I can talk out to someone to buy whatever I have, or rather to invest in my idea. And because I saw that during my projects, presentations, and every other thing, I realized that this is my area of calling. Yeah. And also out of interacting with different materials, of course, from my mentors, who most of them apparently they're into business. So they shaped my paradigm to be more of business oriented.
So did you take a business related course in campus?
What? Well, I was in campus. What I did actually, it was molecular biochemistry.
Oh Lord. Okay, molecular biochemistry and you're
but
in business.
but the funny bit of it, while I was still doing molecular biochemistry, I also did something else with a university called Michigan State University in the US, in conjunction with a facility in Kenya. So I believe it's an exchange. It was an exchange program. Yeah.
Okay.
So I did something on entrepreneurship, and I love these outside universities. If you tell them your specific interest is on sales and marketing,
Yeah.
they
They'll
will
tailor
train
something
you
for
on
you.
that. They'll tell us something that is more specifically on that area. So I believe, in as much as I did molecular biochemistry, the apple did not fall very far away from the tree. Yes.
So now, did you just start a business immediately after campus, or you had to practice this bio thing, and then you came to a place you realized, I think I need to shift?
This is very interesting. You know, after I did my campus, I went for my industrial attachment, and after trying it out there in research, I just saw this is not the thing that I want to pursue for life. Oh my goodness. Always with lab works, doing all those things. That was not my thing. So, and if there is someone who is very passionate with not wasting time, it's me. So I knew from the word go, I will not waste time with what I'm not particularly interested in. And having heard a lot from my mentors, I quote in quote Dr. Miles of his loving memory, and also my Kenyan mentor and dear lovely Dr. Rev Julian Kula. He's my lovely mentor. So having learned a lot from them, actually his story on how he went to do piloting in the States, and then that thing did not work for him, so he stopped it and ventured into something different, and how he landed into entrepreneurship is a different story. So yeah, I think I learned a lot from them, and I knew I would not want to waste my time.
So immediately you felt like this is not
my thing.
How now did you start searching yourself into the marketplace?
Oh, that's great. So how the journey started, actually went into microfinance, working with a microfinance. So I worked with a microfinance by the name Vision Capital Limited. Of course, I had some papers that I had done with the Michigan State, so I had something to show that I also have a business acumen. I can do this. And they gave me a very huge portfolio of managing. And I believe it was within 4 months, I was ranked the best recruiter, or rather the best at attracting more people to invest into my portfolio, or rather in the organization. So I was ranked actually the best performer among the interns, because we started as interns before we got absorbed.
What exactly did your work entail?
My work majorly entailed more of sales and marketing the company. So that's why I told you.
So you are good at convincing people.
That's why I can talk out 200,000 from your pocket.
And let's just give it to you without even thinking about it.
That one, I'm good at it. And I think it's I normally consider it as a blessing.
It's a gift
from God. Because while I was in school, I discovered, as I was telling you, I was not very, into...
Not a bookworm.
Not a bookworm. Though I tried, I was a disciplined student because I was very diligent. But I realized this is not my specific area of interest that I would love to venture. Let me leave it to them that have been called into that area. And as always, as I will say, Dr. Rev Julian Kula, he has trained me well. So though we've never met in person, but I have followed him on every platform, every podcast, every information he shares, every gathering he calls for business. I normally go just to learn from him, and I've learned well.
That is awesome.
Yes.
So maybe you can tell us what was your transition point now or how did it go in this finance? Are you still there, or did you move on
Okay.
into something
Okay.
different?
This is very interesting because after I worked with the microfinance, I saw the money that I made them.
Good money.
What?
And you wanted to make it for yourself.
My portfolio in 4 months, it's hitting 1 point, 2 point. And I was like, no. What if I was working for myself? What if I had my own system that is running this way? I asked myself those what, and my why grew stronger since then, because I got to realize your why in venturing in any business venture should be strong enough to sustain the challenges in that particular field. Because starting a business is not difficult.
You can just start it.
Anyone can do it.
Yeah.
But managing it,
That is very
to stand on its feet until it gives you proper returns. Now that's where the hard task comes in.
Yeah.
And I believe before I started that journey, before that transition, that is the only part of the puzzle that I had not done my assignment very well. So after I ventured out, a bit of mistakes here and there.
We learn through them.
And then I was brought up to speed by life. Life has a way of bringing you up to speed.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So for how long did you stay in microfinance?
Let's say close to 6 months. I did not do it for long. Yes.
Then why are you coming to that position where you think you have to live and get into your own system?
Okay, first of all, I'll say it was first of all because I had initially planned myself earlier. I knew my goal is not the microfinance thing. When I was starting the microfinance, I wanted to understand how vitu kwa ground venye ziko.
Yeah, lazima.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to understand first. I wanted to understand how the market structure looks like for that common mwananchi, the so-called mama mboga, because microfinance most of the time deals with such people.
Yeah.
I really wanted to understand their mindset and how they respond to these big business organizations. I just really needed to understand them well. So I used that platform to learn Kenya, because when I was there, I operated in the Kajiado region, close almost to those Tanzanian border, and also operated in the Makueni and Machakos region. So I was able to cover those regions, and as they say in research, you can study a very big organization from a small segment of people, and you can conclude something. So I learned a bit about them. That was my goal then. And a few other things that I had in mind, like ambitions. So my transition came in after I saw my potential, because I wanted to test my potential in the marketplace. I wanted to test whether I can convince someone to buy whatever I have. And after I saw that one, I knew that I've accomplished my mission in the microfinance, and now it's time to develop my own wings and fly.
Now where are you flying to?
Okay. So at the moment in particular, I started by venturing into networking. I'm a big fan of network marketing. I'm a big fan of network marketing. And one of my biggest, let's say, mentors in that area is Donald Trump.
Why so?
Donald Trump, the person he is today is because of network marketing.
Yeah.
So I took time to study his life. I also took time to study the life of this guy called Robert Kiyosaki. I took time to study the cash flow quadrant in bid to understand everything pertaining to business, investing, and how to get to start off my life. I also study the lives of people like I don't know whether you know Gor Semelango in Kenya. He's an oil tycoon in Kenya. And also Dr. Mushemi. I don't know whether you know her. You know her, right?
Yeah, sure.
An interesting personality. So I took time to really understand everything about it, and then ventured into networking. Because network marketing, it involves building building your own organization
Yeah, sure.
that can earn you income while you're not there. So, but first you have to build it, because it gets to that point of earning
Money
lots
itself,
of income. So I took time. I've been building it since then, and I'm a big fan of that. Full time.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that is exactly what you did after
After
coming from
microfinance.
microfinance.
Yes, yes.
So how has it been, your journey in investments?
So that is where lessons and
Maybe just to add this, how did you now come to a conclusion that this is exactly where I want to put my energy, my time into, and build this?
you know, one thing about investing, you never arrive. You never arrive. You reach where you wanted to reach, and then you realize there's another huge goal ahead of you.
Yeah, they say it's never a destination.
There's never a particular point where you say you've arrived.
Yeah.
So I looked into, as I was saying earlier, I've really experienced a lot of harsh lessons in my beginning phase, because you know, when you're starting, your idea is so good. Every idea is perfect when you're starting. It's so good when you do the presentation to investors. It's so good. Talking to people to invest into your business, it's so cool and very interesting.
Yeah.
But now ukikanyaga kwa ground,
unakuta mambo ni different.
That is where I got harsh lessons. I learned a lot out of that experience. And I remember there was a point after a very huge failure of my first business, I went into a depression mode. I was like, dude, was I called for this thing? There's a point where it reached, and then you start asking yourself those questions. And then, as I was saying, I've started the life of Julian. And I remembered that at a point in his life when he started a business that failed terribly. And I believe the person who had invested in that business is the late Chris Kirubi. And he had to go to convince Chris Kirubi to forgive him the money that he had lent to.
And now, in this journey, are you conversing with God like, am I doing the right thing? Is this the place where you want me to be? Or where is the place of your faith when it comes now to your work in investments?
You know, the funny part with me, I don't want to say the funny part, the interesting part is that when I study the Bible, I don't know whether you see the Bible like me, but I normally see business principles. When I study the life of Jesus, I see how I can run my organization. I can plant my company from his life, mentor people, and leave them to run the organization in my absentia to earn passively. When I study the life of Solomon, I see a man who operated with a lot of wisdom. In such a way, people brought a lot of treasures to him. So I see that part of self-development. When I look into the life of Joseph, that patriarch, I see a lot about entrepreneurship from him. Someone who, using his own skills, saved a whole nation. And he was a good manager. I get good lessons from him. When I looked at Abraham, I normally call him my man. And actually at the moment I'm doing a study about him because I'm learning a lot from him about business. Because I'm a faith-driven entrepreneur. I see someone who took a huge risk out of saying he had a voice. And actually at that particular time, people didn't know so much about the person of the Holy Spirit. And when you study deeply, you'll see he was in the Ur of the Chaldeans, the current Mesopotamia. So those people believed in other gods. And seeing you had a voice telling you, come out of your kindred. So for me, see, that's a very huge risk. Very huge risk. And then, and the land you've been promised to take, it's occupied by people. And he goes to that place, sees that place, plants an altar there, and then wait on God to give him that land. So I learn a lot from these men. So when it comes to business, I think the people who have shaped me well in my area of faith, as I was telling you, they are my mentors. I learn a lot from people like Elon Musk. But more, I like learning from people who we hold a specific line of faith together with them. I learn a lot from the Al Maktoums of the Dubai. I learn a lot from them on how to build an empire. I took time to analyze how they built Dubai and a system like that one.
In a desert.
In a desert,
You know,
yeah.
I believe there's someone who is watching us and they're thinking, okay, they believe when it comes to investments, it is a matter of money. You know, it is about putting your money somewhere to become something, or for it to bear something at the end of the day.
Okay.
But they're in a place where maybe whatever they are getting as an income is very little. Akianza kupiga mahesabu zake za vile ata survive, hata hii saving ni kimungu. They're not even sure that they can save. Maybe we can talk to this kind of person who thinks whatever they are having is too little for them to even think of something to do with investments.
You know, as I was telling you, I learned one thing. Like the way the Bible normally says, now faith. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for. The evidence of things not seen. And it brought me back to this reality. Even if it is not in the amount of money that you are earning. And once you learn, even the Bible says, once you learn to manage that little, you'll be entrusted with more.
Much, yeah.
So I got to realize this one aspect. You don't need to earn 100,000 in order for you to save. You can save even 100 bob. You can save 100 bob.
Yeah, you know, but it's very hard to convince.
And invest it actually.
It's very hard to convince this generation that they can save 100.
Yeah.
And yet their vision is to own a Lamborghini tomorrow, a 6-bedroom house, you know, and to live this kind of flashy life. So when you talk about them saving 100 bob, I'm sure it is not making sense to them.
You know, I think what has come to disrupt that line of that school of thought, it's the current forex traders. You know, you do forex, you get some quick 3 million Kenyan shillings. You go get a very good machine. And I think that is what has confused our generation. Because in as much there are systems currently that can make the get cash real quick, can make you get cash real quick, they are there, does not guarantee that your way is that way. And it's an interesting area of interest to me, because I've done a study a bit into that. Because, you know, I was always observing my elder generation, my older generation, and I saw they took longer to build houses. They took longer to buy cars. They took longer to do big things.
True.
But my generation, they're doing it within a span of 3 years, 5 years, and I was like, let me delve to study how this is happening. So what I would tell that person is, when it comes to the subject of investing, if you are talking as an investor, you must learn the art of patience. And it is always good to be a patient person when it comes to investing. Because when you look at the cash flow quadrant, there are 4 segments in that cash flow quadrant. There is the employed on the far left. There is a far left up. On the far left down, it's the self-employed. On the right, it's the big business owners. And on the bottom right, it's the investors. So actually in his book, Robert Kiyosaki normally says, in order for you to be an investor, you must start as an employed person or a self-employed person. So that is the part of active income. And you must learn the art of saving that money to such a point you can invest it somewhere and give you returns. So if you don't learn the art of being patient, it will be rough for you.
It will catch up with you.
It will catch up with you.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
And maybe just to ask you, You've mentioned about getting into forex and these other things, but now how do you even balance getting money and staying true to your faith? Because some people saying means just that does not justify the end. Like, you can do, money is money, you know, it doesn't have a label of how you got it, as long as it's money. But now, how do we even balance how we get our money and staying true to our faith?
Okay, the balance comes in here. I will advise young people in entrepreneurship. You need mentors. You need mentors. Because there are times when I normally call money the glory of the world.
Yeah, it's a story.
Because ikikuja, there are times I made some huge chunks of money. Nilisikia kama, for lack of a better word, kichwa imefura. The first time.
You just started to spend.
Not actually even just the spending part. But uski kama unaweza ambiwa. You are like, your parents have been telling you.
No one can tell you anything.
This kind of money might take you a bit to make it. And now you got into business and then you made it. You made close to 200,000 in just a simple transaction that you are actually a middleman, not actually the owner of a product. It was more of a middleman type of a business. I was like, what? This thing got into my head at that particular time. And as I was saying, there's only one person who brought me back to balance. I remember he once explained something. That is Rev Julian Kula. He once explained something and told us when he was really at the top cream of business, when he was the next big thing in Africa, the next Aliko, Dangote of Africa, this thing got into his head.
True.
Got into his head. And he had to come back to that place of God. I am back. Correct my way. So when I had these things, when I'm subjecting myself to these people, they normally correct a lot of my perspectives, and somehow they balance me. So I believe the place of mentorship is good because it brings a balance to your faith and business ventures, and also the place of accountability. Because there are many schemes outside here.
Very many.
That can get you rich quickly.
Very many. Every time you get into your phone, there's always a notification of how to make some tunes quick, fast.
But some of them, they are not really legit. Let me tell you, the real deals, they're not advertised that way. Those real gists that can get you money that quickly, as they suggest, they don't come on Facebook. If I normally see some scammers presenting. Actually, those scammers, they're more broke than you on Facebook. They want to take your money. But if these dark deals, they don't happen openly, but they are there, but they have serious consequences. I would not advise anyone to venture into that space.
Wow. There's so much we are learning tonight. And I love the fact that you're able to echo even the words and the lessons that you get to learn from your mentors. And and investing even yourself into getting knowledge and wisdom on how to go about things. I really love that. Our viewer, we are going to take a very short break, and when we'll be right back, we'll carry on this conversation. Don't go too far. Keep it here at PrayerCaveTV. Welcome back, our viewer. Thank you so much for joining in and keeping it here at Prayer Cave TV. For those who are joining us, this is your all-time sport, the Youth Nation Show, and I am your favorite host, Maureen Boyani. And thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are talking about investment and learning when it comes to investment. What are the best things to do? What are the don'ts when it comes to investment? And also, we are getting to learn the importance of having mentors when even it comes to this journey. And without talking a lot, we have our guest tonight who is sharing very good nuggets when it comes to balancing investment and even your faith. Karibu sana, even as we continue this conversation.
Thank you so much.
Now you are telling us the importance of balancing our faith so that we can know the right thing to invest in.
Yes.
Now, maybe you can tell us what are the challenges when that people face when it comes to investment, and especially for a young person, ule mkulima mdogo. Sometimes hajui where is the best place to invest. They are a little money that they have.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think first the challenge when I faced, let's say, for lack of a better word, beginners, it's they are not well informed about where they're investing their money, and they are not informed of the risks the business ama the venture they want to invest into has.
Yeah.
So you'll find out someone who says they are so general in their approach. If you ask them, you want to invest, you ask them where, they tell you in a business. Which business? Business yourselves in mado.
Yeah.
So do you understand the market dynamics here of sales and marketing? Do you understand the risks attached to investing in a sales and marketing business venture?
Yeah.
You will meet somebody else who has, let's say, little money, let's say 1,000 shillings, and tells you that person wants to invest, and you ask them where, in a business. Which business? Definitely, most of the time, unaweza pata they are thinking on small things, and they're expecting too much returns, big returns. So you see they are setting themselves off on a wrong tone, on a wrong tone, because you must first understand where you want to invest your money in.
That's true.
Not the hearsays. Do your research, get the nitty-gritties, because I've made that mistake before and I've lost a lot of money because of the hearsay thing. You know, when you are starting, there's always that part of you learning.
Everyone has ideas.
There is a place at some point umelipa school fees ya maisha. I don't want to see kulipa school fees ya biashara.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I normally tell young, maybe my fellow young people, because I'm equally young, who are starting or other beginners, you must know where you want to invest your money and understand everything about what you want to invest your money. Let's say, for instance, you hear somebody to tell you they want to invest into money market.
Yeah.
You know, money market, even with 100 shillings, you can get started off, which is good. I will advise a young person. A money market is just a place where you park your money, and then it earns interest, probably 11% per annum to around 14%. So you ask them, which company are you really particularly interested in investing your money in? And maybe because of lack of mentorship and lack of information, just invest in any company. You don't make the step of trying to understand which is the currently best money market performing company. So, you know, you need to have all these nitty-gritties before you get started. So one of the biggest challenge that I've seen is that one of why.
Now, that is the knowledge gap.
The knowledge gap.
And how can we reduce that knowledge gap? What are the best thing that they can do?
You know, there's
because if you go to internet, everyone is advising you why you should get into this investment and not this one. Why should this? So there's a lot out here, so it is easy for someone to get misled.
Yes.
So what will you advise them?
You know, there's one thing that someone told me. I hate echoing these words, but apparently it's one of our problems in Africa.
Yeah.
If you want to hide anything from Africans,
use books.
Just use books.
We'll never get it.
They'll never get it.
Very unfortunate.
You know, being an African, it beats me to the core when I think of that saying, because I love being an African. There's a uniqueness. Nasemanga sisi ndio prefects because we are the different ones in the whole world. But however, get to do proper analysis using me normally say websites don't lie. You can know a legit website of a particular company, and you can get into their financial records maybe for maybe a year. Go through them and understand them well, and then you will know where to invest your money into. So don't invest based on the hearsays on YouTube, TikTok. You know, there's a certain principle that was being propagated a few days ago. Our generation concentration span has really reduced so much. Because of the TikTok
short
things,
videos.
the short videos. So if you give them a 1 hour video to watch, after 10 minutes they are bored. They are bored. Their concentration span is So you will get them getting advices from these hearsays, and then they move with them. Then they realize we don't need different
ground.
So you need really to get proper information. And there are good websites where you cannot miss those good information.
So apart from the knowledge gap, what other challenge do you think this young person faces?
Okay, the other challenge is I'll say lack of mentorship. And if there is a mentor, that mentor is not willing to hold their hands. You know, I'm not saying I'm not saying that mentors are not good people, but there are places where I went to sort mentorship and I didn't get when I was starting. You see, you really like this person. He's an interesting person. You're very passionate to learn from that person. And then you go knock that door and it gets shut off. So I remember there was a time I approached one of the influential people. And my friend, the kind of feedback I got, I told myself, kwanzia hiyo time I have purposed in my heart, I will become. And when I become, I won't be like that person. Because, and I understand them, it is because of the challenges they have faced even with mentoring young people. Because some people are really rigid, but amidst the rigidity, they are genuine people. So to me, that is a big challenge, because even if the mentors are there, they're not willing to offer the mentorship. And if they're willing to offer the mentorship, it's not for free. They put a charge on it.
Some cost to it.
Some cost attached to it. Because of you valuing the kind of mentorship they're giving you. So you get nowadays it's more of coaches, not even mentors.
Mentoring, true.
You know, mentors, they are willing to open their scars to you in order for you to learn. So you learn from their worst case scenarios of their lives. But coaches, they'll give you the sweet parts, tell you how to do it, but most of the time they don't open up their scars.
Definitely, because for them, even when you look at this coaching thing, mostly it has become like it is a trading thing.
It's a business.
It is a business thing. So of course, you will, even if you're selling a product, you will never want to display the side effect or the other side of your products.
Yes. So to me, that one has been a very big challenge on my journey to become. I don't believe I'm even a quarter of the journey where I'm headed to. But where I am, I can say those are the biggest places where I've faced challenges. And also, but the other challenge is managing the little I'm getting out of managing that, the fast pace excitement of getting money. You know, if you are used to be broke, not even 1,000 shillings or M-Pesa, and then you start seeing 40, 50, 100, 200, 300, you know, the first part of it, it can really give you a lot of excitement. You end up squandering it.
It is true.
That is that is among one of the challenges that I've really faced during my beginning phases. Yeah.
And maybe you can advise someone who they're really interested in investing, but there's a part of them that is really scared because they think, what if zitakunywa maji? What can you tell this person? But they really want to invest, only that they are scared. Yeah.
Now in business, there are things that I classify them as raw materials for being a business person. Is being a risk taker.
Yeah.
And being a risk taker doesn't mean you won't fear losing. You will fear because that is expressing humanity, your humanity part of yourself.
Definitely.
But being a risk taker, it means even though you fear, you will still do it. But when it comes to risk taking, I think I learned this best from Aliko Dangote. He normally says, take well calculated risks.
Yeah.
It's not just something out of the blues and then you place your money on it. Yeah. You will get a very bad experience out of that experience. Yeah, quote unquote. Yeah.
So your advice for them is to become risk takers.
Just to do
but
it.
do it afraid.
Do it afraid.
But you have to do calculated
risks. Yes.
Wow, that is
just
beautiful.
Make sure you are pretty informed with where you're investing your money in. Yes.
Wow. But now another thing that will be, there's someone, yes, they are willing to take the risk, but there's also this part that they want to chase after God's plan and idea. So this is somebody seated somewhere waiting for God to tell them where to invest. And now where is kuna ule mtu tu, they will tell you they want to get direction from God. So how do you balance waiting on God and ule mtu mwenye ameogopa tu yet? Kuna ule mtu is scared taking the risk, na kuna mtu maybe they are saying they are waiting on God, but it's an excuse for them because they are afraid. So how do you help this kind of person?
There are things I've learned through psychology, and also there are things I've learned through the experiences of others, and others through the scriptures. And sometimes when you want to invest in something, and deep within yourself you feel a lot of fight, let me say, you feel like, oh no, let me withhold. Sometimes I think in psychology they call it cognitive dissonance, if I'm not wrong. So it's usually there are those people who have not reached that point of saying that I heard God saying this, especially a generation.
They don't hear
hiyo ni generation ya millennials ndio tunasikia wakisema tulisikia God. I had God on my marriage partner. In a generation watu wamechukuana wamewala, they are working it out. So and then I got to realize one thing, wherein if you've not learned to hear God on your other matters of life, like let's say if you didn't learn to hear God on what to eat today, on what to wear today as an outfit or as a cloth, or what to where the places to visit, if you have not learned to hear God on those particular matters, these particular matters, how will you hear God on where to invest? So you see a conversation that is building here, whereby someone is hiding behind
hearing
God in the name of fear, and in fear. So it's fear extrapolating as the voice of God. So you see, so most of the time when someone tells me that, I normally vet them, maybe know out of the experiences, have they ever had God on other specific areas of life, and was it true? Was it just their conscience judging them? So what my advice to such a person, there are times when if you've not learned the art of hearing God in the small matters. It's better to go to someone who will help you understand what you want to venture in, and someone with a proven track record of hearing God. Yeah.
Very important.
Very important.
Because everyone will say they hear God.
They hear God, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that is beautiful. And now, how has God helped you, or the Holy Spirit? How have He guided you in decision making when it comes to business? Ile ya try and error.
Okay, I'll say there are some places when nilienda kifua.
Nilijijaza.
Some worked, some failed.
Yeah.
And I realized something out of all those experiences. You know, after I experience maybe a setback or a failure, what I normally do, I go back and maybe do an analysis. Why did I fail in this particular area? And I got to realize in the places where I failed, it was more of my part as a person. Maybe my mindset was not enough to handle that particular, as I was not built enough to handle such particular issues and my cases and my businesses, and that's why they failed. I was not well shaped for them. And there are some that through counsel and through the wisdom of my mentors, they were attacks, but most of the times it's usually this of mine that was not built enough to handle what I was handling. So my advice to such a person, it's or rather what I do myself when it comes nowadays, when I got to learn, when I took time to learn about the person of the Holy Spirit, I realized that there are places of waiting on God to be given ideas. And I think that one has been well taught by Joshua Selman on the art of meditation and how to receive an idea from God. Joshua Selman has downloaded that information in a very good manner. And I practice a lot of meditation myself. I do practice a lot of meditations, and that's where I get instructions, and then I vet them using the scriptures. So for instance, when I was starting my journey into networking, I was just at Life Church, Nairobi, and I was seated there. You know, most of the time after the lunch hour session, I remained there, and then I was pondering on the word, and then the scriptures came. That God has opened a great door, but many a great adversary, and that is their theme as a church at this particular time. And I continued meditating on them. And then the instructions came, and I acted upon the instructions. So what I learned also from Bishop David Oyedepo, when you hear God on a particular matter, for him, he says he stops praying and gets himself to learn how to get that job done. So after that too, I ventured into learning on how to get the job done. And I thank God, I've learned a lot, and I'm in the process of learning more because I have a bigger goal.
Wow.
Yes.
That is beautiful.
Interesting.
Now, when it comes to such point of where you have to sit, meditate, to hear God, to get instruction, it is not a very familiar place for many people, and especially the young people. Because as I mentioned earlier, this is a generation that want things popping out like mushrooms. So telling someone like this one that they have to sit and meditate and hear God to receive instruction, for them it sounds like something that kidogo ni kama haita work. But maybe you can tell someone the importance of venturing into where God has led you to.
Wow. You know, one of the things that I learned from Miles Monroe is that you can excel in an area where you are not called for.
Wow, what a waste of time.
And that is the greatest waste of time on earth.
Imagine, oh God,
imagine becoming a top cream.
But you are not called in that area.
But you are not called in that area.
Oh God.
So if there is one thing that I will not claim that I have attained, it's that place, because I'm equally pursuing destiny. And the more I pursue it, the more light inakuwa shade. But on this area,
Mm-hmm.
I think I learned it best from Poju, Pastor Poju. I don't know whether you know him.
Mm-hmm.
Pastor Poju, he was brought to Rema Feast by my dear lovely mentor,
Julian.
Julian.
Mm-hmm.
I love that man.
Uh-huh.
And what Poju said, he says that, you know, because of his mercies,
Mm-hmm.
whenever we venture into a particular area,
Mm-hmm.
where he has not called us,
Mm-hmm.
he normally recalibrates us.
Yeah.
So I'm usually
True.
in that place of seeking on God's mercy
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not all knowing.
True.
And even sometimes when you claim to have heard the counsel of God,
Mm-hmm.
you might hear the counsel of God but interpret it wrongly.
Differently. Yeah. True.
Wrongly. You can interpret the counsel of God wrongly. And there are examples in Bible of people who interpret the counsel of God wrongly. So when you do that, it has its own consequences. But out of his mercies, he recalibrates you. So I'm in that place whereby I would not have said that I've attained everything. So I'm being recalibrated in the areas where I have lost a bit. And also I'm pursuing to know the clarity of his counsel and of his voice. Yeah.
Well, that is a very beautiful place to be, because this journey, every day we are becoming. That's why we are human beings.
Yes.
Every day we are evolving, we're evolving. So maybe you can tell someone, a young person who is maybe in investment, maybe into business, how can they give back into the society?
Okay.
Because I usually say that God is not selfish.
Yes.
Whatever He has made you become is not just about you, it is also for people around you. So how can we give back even into this community and the society around us?
You know, there is I've been doing a study on this.
Interesting.
And this is a specific area of interest that I must say I've seen most of the young people making a mistake. You know, you're just getting started, and you want to do it like somebody else. I mean, the way I've studied the way people give back to the society is after they've invested in themselves.
True.
Become the person who God made them to be, and now they give back to the society after shaping themselves. And I normally work with this famous adage that says charity begins at home. So you must first of all do personal development in order for you to be very effective in giving back to the society. Like right now, for instance, if you do like 20 years down the line backwards, Dr. Rev Julian Kula could not have been able to build the business that is built, or rather could not have been able to come up with the projects that he's doing right now of settling people in the city. Because right now he's building buildings together in conjunction with many other experts. So he's doing a lot in that particular area. But 20 years ago, angefanya hivyo, ingekuwa madness. Because the capacity of sustaining that realm, it was not there.
True.
So, and this one, there's a thin line between ambition and error. Because you might go to do something and your capacity has not accommodated you. So what I normally tell people, invest first of all in yourself, and then be more effective in giving back to society. And one of the people that, you know, I see giving back to society differently and in many different ways. Like, I celebrate the life of, even if he's an old man, Albert Einstein. I don't know whether you know him. He's a scientist. The guy who invented the equation of E is equals to mc squared, of energy is equals to mass times velocity squared. So I normally celebrate him as being one of the greatest people who has ever lived on earth, because that man gave back to the society in such a big way. The current technologies that we're having, they have been built on somebody's work that he worked on in the 1908 to around 1918. Imagine the rocket science, everything has been built on that equation. So that man gave back to society in his particular way, unique way. So I ideally celebrate him because of tech. We have tech because of him. And of course, many others were built, and most of the things that have been built after him by different people, like Bill Gates, who came up with Microsoft. I celebrate him, even though we might not be holding any of beliefs, but he has given back to society.
It is true.
The late Apple guy, he came up with this small gadget, and he compressed a whole machine. He entered a building like this one, saw a very big computer with big fans, and said, "This thing can fit in my pocket." That man gave back to society.
It is true.
But it was through personal development.
They say you cannot give what you don't have.
You cannot give what
you cannot take people where you've not been before.
Such as
so charity begins at home.
And this is where I normally like what Selman says. The way as I echo your words, you cannot give what you don't have.
True.
So you must have it first.
For you to be able
the equation is have it first,
and
then go to give it out. So it balances a lot of things. And but this is not a room for you being selfish.
Yeah, true.
You can always give back to society in a small way.
It doesn't have to
in
be
your smallness.
Big.
Big. Yeah, but that small thing should build to something.
As long as it's making impact into someone's life.
But for young person, I'll tell them prioritize personal development.
Yeah.
You'll be more effective in giving back to society that way.
It is the biggest investment they can do now.
Yeah, you can do now.
Wow, that is beautiful.
If you start with the community, you might lose yourself.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So our viewer, even before we come to a close, because time has really gone, what is your parting shot tonight? What can you tell our viewer?
Oh, this is interesting. You know, as a business person, you must be someone who is willing to take risks and also being mentored.
Yeah.
So take risks and be mentored, and you will excel in this particular area of field. And then see you on top.
Beautiful.
See you on top.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, our guest.
Yes.
Thank you for creating time to be with us here tonight. And to our viewer, thank you so much for always tuning in and keeping it here. And I hope you got your book and your notes and you have written down nuggets of wisdom that it takes you building yourself, building your capacity, and having someone to hold your hand, having mentors, people you're looking up to that will help you, that you will not walk into the pits they walked into, but they will help you walk in the right path. Thank you so much for joining in. I've been your host, Maureen Boyani, and until next Saturday, keep it here at PrayerCave TV. Bye-bye.